Hi and welcome to this Microsoft and Veeam capabilities video. In this video we're going to be looking at specifically direct restore to Azure. But first we're going to take a look at what we're going to need to have prior to performing a direct restore to Azure. So if we take a look in my lab, I have a number of backups. I have a backup that's going to local storage of 3 virtual machines. I have a domain controller, a Linux virtual machine, and a Windows virtual machine. But these are held locally. But also I have a secondary copy run by a backup copy job that's actually out in Azure. So that's going to be the most efficient way for me to perform a direct restore to Azure. When I actually right click on the particular workload in question, I'm offered all the different types of restores available for that particular workload, even instant recovery, which is a new feature to Azure. And we're going to be taking a look at that in a different video. But you can see here I have instant disk recovery, restore entire VM, which is something we're going to be doing in a second to Azure. I can recover disks, I could publish disks, I could restore VM files, lots and lots of options, of course guest file recovery as well. So let's dive into the restore the entire VM to Microsoft Azure. And as we start the wizard, it would allow me to select a particular virtual machine where we have actually in fact only selected the one which we wish to restore, so we don't need to do anything here other than that's going to go through a short query of available load. Here I'm given the option to which subscription I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using my Azure comp. You can see here I'm not going to restore it to Australia Central. I'm going to restore it to East US. And of course, I'm going to be using the proxy appliance. Now, the proxy appliance really does significantly improve performance. I wouldn't even attempt to perform the recovery without the proxy helper here. Clicking next. Again, querying of available VM size and storage accounts. Here I'm invited to control some of the VM options. So if I click on edit, there's nothing I actually want to change here, but just want you to see what's actually in here, the cores, maximum number of disks, and the amount of memory. But I do want to change the disk type. I don't want it to be on premium SSD for this particular restore. I'm going to change that to standard HDD. Again, it's going to query the available resource groups you can see here. And here I'm invited to change the resource group. I'm not going to get it to create one. I already have one out in Azure that I wish to use. And it is the KRR VMs resource group. It's going to go ahead and verify that configuration that that resource group exists and is all good. It's now going to query the available virtual networks. And now querying the available security groups. And now I'm given the opportunity to select the virtual network and security groups. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I want to select my KIR VMs VNet. I'm going to select a default 2 subnet. And I'm not going to assign a public IP as this is just a test restore. And for the network group, I'm going to select a already available network group. Here I'm given the opportunity to scan the backup content using Threat Hunter and also some additional YARA rules, which is a great idea and a great feature to have. But I know my VMs are good and secure and without any malware. But in production, I would scan these, but for the purposes of the demo, I'm going to be leaving the default and not scanning them. Here I'm invited to populate something in the log of why I'm performing the restore, which is, of course, is a demo restore. Here I'm given a summary of what's going to happen, all the configuration options that I've selected, and I'm going to power on the target VM after restoring, and I'm going to hit finish. At this point, we can see the log progressing. It's going to be starting the restore job. It's going to be looking for the helper, it's going to be turning the helper on. It's going to start restoring particular virtual disks of the virtual machine. But whilst that wizard is completing and whilst the log is being viewed here, let's go take a look at what's actually happening in the background. As you can see, as we have in the lab, we have a VMware environment. We have the 3 virtual machines that we've spoke about. We have a local copy, but we also have a copy out in Azure Blob storage. So let's walk through what's actually happening as we go through the wizard. So the first thing, as we're using the Azure Restore Proxy appliance, formerly the Azure Proxy, for the restore process, Veeam Backup and Replication sends a command to actually power on the proxy appliance, the Azure Restore Proxy appliance, and that's the first step. The next step is for Veeam Backup and Replication to convert the disks of the backed up virtual machine. Now, the backups are actually in the blob storage here, but what we need to do is we need to convert those, because they're a backed up VMware virtual machine, and we need to convert those to VHDs. And that's what Veeam Backup and Replication does in the second stage, and then uploads those to the blob storage in question that you're going to be using. Veeam Backup and Replication mounts those uploaded disks to the helper appliance. Now, the helper appliance is a Linux-based workload sat where you're going to be recovering the virtual machine. So the helper appliance is started with those mounted virtual hard disks, VHDs. And then Veeam Backup and Replication makes some configuration changes within those VHDs. As of course, the source VM is a VMware virtual machine. So we need to make some configuration changes within those VHDs to make that able to be booted within Microsoft Azure. Once that's taken care of, we unmount those and we spin down the helper that we've been using for that. Now, as we've used the Azure Restore Proxy appliance for the restore, that is also powered off as well. So what we have here is we have the converted VHDs within the blob storage. The next step that happens once we've powered down the helper and the proxy is Veeam Backup and Replication registers an Azure virtual machine within the chosen location with the attached VHDs. Once the registration process is complete, Veeam Backup and Replication issues a power on command, and that virtual machine boots as quickly as possible. So that's a quick walkthrough of actually what is happening that we've been looking at in the log. So let's go back to see how the wizard and the log is getting on. Now we've converted the complete virtual machine, you can see that we get a message here saying first Azure VM boot may take longer than normal. That's an expected message. And we're now collecting the restore logs so we can leverage them if we need to understand what's been happening there. So the virtual machine is in fact now restored to Azure and will be booting. But just whilst we're looking at the collecting restore logs message, let's go over to Azure and take a look if we can see that particular virtual machine. We'll be looking for the KRR-Lin01. So if I go across to my Azure interface, I can see I'll need to perform a refresh. I hit refresh, and you can see that I have successfully restored my KRR-Lin01, and you can see it here as well. But you can also see the proxy helper running as well, and that's what's helped us perform the recovery from the backups that are actually in Azure very, very quickly. As we saw in the logs, megabytes per second, not kilobytes per second, which is what has allowed us to perform this restore quite quickly. But if we go back into the main UI, we can see that we're still collecting the restore logs in place. We've gone through everything we've just looked at in the chalkboard. You can see that we've mounted the disks. We're waiting for the Azure proxy to start there. We're restoring the VMDK. We're then performing conversions, turning that into VHD and some other configurations, creating the Azure VM, conversion complete, and then the logs have been collected. I can click close on that, but I can just then go and check in the Azure interface. We have in fact got the Linux virtual machine showing there. Now, I will, in a little while, go ahead and delete that because this was just a demo of the direct restore to Azure. Hopefully you found this video useful on the direct restore to Azure. Thank you.